Quote. Why did you make up a quote?
Well, this again, you know, these are big terms for what happened. Well, I can tell you the whole thing. I mean, I think are you sure our viewers wouldn't want to hear more about housing?
If you don't want to talk about the made-up quote,
it was a long and lamentable story.
Okay, but you made a quote up.
Well, what happened was that I ascribed events that were supposed to have taken place before the death of Piers Gaveston to events that actually took place after the death.
You made something up. Let me ask you about another little.
I mean, I mildly sandpapered something.
Let me ask you about a barefaced lie.
Very embarrassing. I'm very sorry about it.
Let me ask you about a barefaced lie. When you were in Michael Howard's team, you denied to him you were having an affair. It turned out you were, and he sacked you for that. Why did you lie to your party?
Well, I mean, again, with great respect, on that, I never had any conversation with Michael Howard about that matter, and you know, I don't.
You did lie.
Well, you know, I don't propose to go into all that again.
I don't blame you.
No, well, why should I? I mean, I've been through, you know, that question a lot with the. Watch the documentary.
Okay.
Why don't we talk about something else?
The program also includes. Well, this is about your integrity.
Okay.
The program includes your reaction as you listen to a phone call, in which your friend Darius Guppy asks you to supply the address of a journalist,
yes,
so that he can have him physically assaulted. The words "beaten up" and "broken ribs" are said to you. And you, having heard that, you tell your friend Darius Guppy you will supply the address. What does that say about you, Boris Johnson?
Well,
aren't you, in fact, making up quotes, lying to your party leader, wanting to be part of someone being physically assaulted? You're a nasty piece of work, aren't you?
Well, Eddie, I think all three things I would dispute.
Well, you don't factually dispute them.
Well, I do, and I could, you know, if we had a long time, which we don't, I could explain that I think all three interpretations you're putting on those things aren't wholly fair. And certainly the final thing which you raise, which is the case of my old friend Darius. Yes, it was certainly true that he was in a bit of a state, and I did humour him in a long phone conversation, from which absolutely nothing eventuated.
Whenever you're asked about Prime Minister, and goodness knows Michael Cockerell had a go, you obfuscate. You say, well, I want to be a pop star, I want to be a painter, I want to do all of those things. But you've never actually said what is clearly plain as a pikestaff. Of course, like many politicians, you want to be Prime Minister. Why don't you just say the words? What's the problem?
Look, what I want is to spend the next my time remaining as mayor to do as well as I can as mayor of London. I've got 3 and a bit years to go.
Hang on, Eddie.
Viewers
make of your inability to give a straight answer to a straight question?
I think people would rightly conclude that I don't want to talk about this subject because I want to talk about what I think should happen, which is the government deserves to win the next election.